applications, social applications, and they don't necessarily run well, or maybe they can't run at all on their current second platform infrastructure, right? The client-server era of computing. So let's dive into that problem statement a little bit, and let's go back to when I got out of college and joined Data General. This is what the IT infrastructure looked like. You had a business application, you compiled it right on a CPU, and then you connected a gray flat ribbon SCSI cable to the CPU, and you plugged disks into the cable. And you took a pair of pliers, and you plugged jumpers into the disks. This is disk 1, this is disk 2, this is disk 3. And there's two characteristics of that IT infrastructure. Number one, applications were very close to the disk drives, geographically. And at the same time, all of that application data could fit on one disk drive. What happened? The applications began demanding more of the IT infrastructure, and that one disk drive could not handle that application workload. So the industry had to innovate. And at Data General, we used RAID 5 technology. And that one disk looked like 5 disks. 10 miles down the road from Westboro, you had a different company, EMC, that put a very large cache in front of a group of disk drives. And that's really the beginning of this second platform era. And where are we today, right? If you look in 2014, we have the same problem. There's a new form of application being written. And these applications are placing new demands on the IT infrastructure, very complex demands. At the same time, that physical disk drive is now sitting in a disk array that's separated by multiple logical and physical layers. So you may have an application running on a mobile device, sending an I/O through a cloud or a carrier network, down through a virtualization infrastructure, hitting a server, going through routing software, jumping over another network, and finally getting down to the disk. And think about trying to write an analytic application, right, that wants to analyze petabytes of information. You cannot deploy that application on this type of environment and bring all of that data over all those networks up to an application. So that gives you a feel for one of the use cases, one of the problems that we're trying to solve with a new IT infrastructure. At the same time, all of that data that used to fit on one disk drive, now that is spread out geographically, right? It's gone from a physical disk to multiple data centers. We have a storage system called Atmos, which can run on different continents, one storage system on different continents. And then you have hybrid and public cloud. So this is back to our problem statement, right? And usually when I talk to a customer, I will say, is this the problem that you're having, right? You have traditional applications, Oracle, SAP. They're tuned for the IT infrastructure of 2014. We're going to see big growth in second platform application deployment, 30% predicted over the next few years, and innovation in the second platform. It's a mission-critical platform. That's one thing to take away from this conversation. Third platform is not meant for running mission-critical applications. So we're going to have many years where we still need to innovate and build second platform infrastructure. Third platform applications, like I mentioned, are next generation cloud applications. They want to do mobile, they want to do analytics, they want to do social. They understand that their data is going to be spread out all over the world, and these applications need to be fundamentally built in a different way that expects that kind of environment. So at this point in time, the customer's shaking their head, saying, yes, this is exactly what I've built. I'm struggling with mobile applications. I'm struggling with analytic applications. And I say, don't worry, we have good news, right? We can bridge you to this new IT platform by using the current portfolio we have today, which is federated, and combining it with some new technologies and some new industry trends. So the first thing we tell them is, remember where we were 30 years ago with that one disk drive? Now look what EMC has. The most robust set of storage platforms that can meet the needs of nearly every application that's out there. we found a new application called in-memory databases, and it doesn't fit well with our storage infrastructure, so we acquired DSSD. So this slide's old now, right? I need to put another system up there when we ship DSSD, hopefully next year, that handles a different application workload. So it's pretty clear that we have, whatever workload you're trying to run, we have storage technology that can help you build a third platform infrastructure. But you can also have to remember that the applications, as they drifted further and further away from the storage, we became a management and orchestration company. And VMware is really chief here, right? VMware helps make that connection between applications, packaging it up into a virtual machine, and helping to wire all the plumbing right down to the storage system. But at the same time, we have other assets in our portfolio that are not necessarily storage assets. They're management and orchestration, power path routing software, backup and recovery software, security software, networking software. We have all of these things in our portfolio that can help us build the third platform. But the big point I try and drive home with our customers is EMC is an application company. If you go back and you look at the acquisition of Documentum over 10 years ago, we've been helping our customers build enterprise-class applications for over 10 years. And if you look at all these other acquisitions that we've made that help you build applications, we've also have Pivotal now. I talked to the chief marketing officer of Pivotal the other day, and I said, what's the main thing you want me to tell customers when I'm speaking about Pivotal? And he said, Pivotal helps you reduce the software development time of your business applications. So instead of taking 9 months or 12 months to bring a new business application into your infrastructure and get business value, they shrink that down to weeks and even days. In the same way that VMware took IT provisioning time and took IT provisioning from months and shrunk it down to days into hours, and they're trying to drive it to seconds, this is what Pivotal's trying to do with software development. So the message here, you should work with us. Right? Don't go to another storage vendor. Don't go to another app vendor. Don't go to another middleware vendor. We have everything that can build this new form of IT infrastructure. And one of the newest things we have from an application standpoint, we did an acquisition, and this company is actually in Charlotte, and they're called Adaptivity. And I have asked the Durham COE if they would be the guinea pigs and get Adaptivity into our lab and understand how it works so that I can brag about it, right? Because it's a great, great story. The little that I know, here's what I know. We can take Adaptivity as a service offering, and we can walk into any of our customers, and we can say, let's take Adaptivity, and we'll scan and discover every application that you have. And we'll interview the application team, and we'll interview the IT team. And then we will come up with an assessment that does this. It will classify your applications. It will say, should I decommission or sunset this application? Should I put it on a much, much cheaper tier of storage that has compliance characteristics and governance characteristics so I can search it and find it? Or should I just enhance it? Is it running on the right level of infrastructure? Or is it not running well? Is it a third platform application? Should I modernize it? And the way that you separate these applications is you run another VMware product called Application Discovery Manager. And you say, are there any dependencies between these applications that I need to break so then I can take and move some applications and retire them onto a cheaper tier and free up my mission-critical architecture and my people to either enhance or modernize. So Adaptivity can give you this forensic, data-based view that takes the emotional arguments between